My brother took me to meet her girlfriend, my future sister-in-law. I just came in and realized that this future sister-in-law is actually my roommate, Xia Yue Ting, who has always thought that my family is poor, so she has always looked down on me. So that tall, handsome and rich boyfriend she's been bragging about is my own brother. 1. My father is a group director. Before school started, I had a big fight with my father, who said I couldn't do anything without the money he gave me, and I didn't believe him. So over the summer, I went out to work, working part-time as a tutor, in the afternoons, working at a coffee shop in the mornings and evenings, putting off everyone's help, and earning enough to go to school on my own. As soon as I entered the dormitory, my new roommates were already there, and as soon as I entered, a pretty girl immediately greeted me warmly, then looked me up and down, then looked at me and said, "Haven't we met somewhere before?" I thought about how often she seemed to go to our coffee shop to get coffee. I think so. You seemed to go to the store coffee shop a lot. I was working there as a summer job, so that's how it is. It's so hard. I don't know if it's just me, but after I answered, a hint of ridicule flashed in her eyes. After getting to know my roommate, I started making my bed. The other roommates started chatting without words. Geez, Ting Ting, you're actually using the latest model of cell phone, and there's more than one. You're playing poker with a cell phone, huh? No, I just liked the colors and didn't want to make a choice, so I just bought them all. She absently pulled out a few more bottles of designer skincare products from her bag. The other roommates let out another gasp. Your cosmetics are so expensive. You're not a rich white girl, are you? I'm just not used to using all that bad makeup for fear of my face rotting, she suddenly asked. Then she saw me laying my stuff down. Lin Hang, do you usually like to use makeup? In high school, my old, curmudgeonly father didn't really let me wear makeup and how much attention was paid to these things, so I didn't know anything about them, so I shook my head and said, I don't understand any of this. After hearing this, she let out a giggle and inexplicably ventured, it seems that you must be a B-city person. It should only be a B-city person who farms every day and doesn't use cosmetics. I'm not from B-town, but I couldn't figure out why she said what she said, so I retorted to her, B-town is a big land-growing province, but not all of us are like this, right? Besides, don't people in B-town grow land to feed other people? You might have grown up eating their rice, seeing that I actually refuted her. She blushed slightly before turning her head and starting to fiddle with her bottles of makeup. I don't eat B-town land, hillbilly, too. Xia Yue Ting looked down on anyone and anywhere other than a city walking down the road. She would say, the sun is just too big in city C, it's not as good as ours in city A. When eating, she would say, the rice in city C is so hard, it must not be boiled in mountain spring water, and it's not at all as elaborate as what we have in city A. When the teacher was in class, she would habitually ask the teacher questions in the dialect of city A, making the teacher confused, and then she would say, I'm sorry, teacher, I forgot that this is city C. I grew up in city A. I'm used to it, so pay attention to the teacher. Next time, I'm used to growing up in a city, so you'll pay attention to you next time. When she washes her clothes, this princess says that washing her clothes in city C's water will ruin them, and that she has to take them to a laundromat to get them dry cleaned, mainly because this princess doesn't go there but always asks you to help her get there. If I hadn't actually seen it, I wouldn't have believed that there were people in the world who were are so stupid and manipulative. The good thing is that I don't really like spending time with her, and I've been working myself in order to get on the old man's bad side, but I don't know why, but I always felt like Xia Yue Ting was secretly targeting me. Could it be because during the military training, Xia Yue Ting had asked me to help her to buy water in front of many people? There was nothing wrong with the words, but the tone of voice was as uncomfortable as if she was talking to a servant, so I left without even looking at her and humiliated her. Or was it because of that little tiff on the first day? Luckily, my roommate reminded me. She said that it was Xia Yue Ting who thought that I was the poorest in the dormitory and that's why she tried to bully me. I couldn't help but laugh at that. My family's poor. In my whole life, she's the first one to say that to me. Ling Han, I'll give you $100. Go and take my clothes to the dry cleaner for me. I was sitting there reading when a large bag of dirty clothes mixed with the smell of sweat and perfume was thrown in front of me all at once by her. How rude! I whisked all my clothes to the floor as soon as I could. Now, she didn't expect me to do that, and picked up the dress in a half. Do you know how expensive this dress is? You can't even afford one with a month's worth of work. The roommates saw her say this and came up to discourage her. This makes her even more arrogant. She flung a new perm of French-style curls, said, "Since the beginning of the school year, the first time I saw you, I know that you are from the big city of the countryside, and not every day to let you do things for me, but also reluctant. Anyway, you do not every day in the countryside to do the work of those forms. Country people are just calculating. A mouthful of redneck. You mean you're not a human being, do you?" I glanced her up and down and sneered. Full of fakes. This kind of clothes. I closet a bunch of clothes. Xia Yue Ting body clothes. I can see at a glance the texture and really not the same. Just do not want to reveal. Just seeing me say this. Xia Yue Ting's face turned red with anger. If you're jealous of me, just say so. I'm telling you, from today onwards you won't be able to mix in this school. Roommates have urged to come over to round up the situation. Hanning, the one young who donated millions to the school, is chasing after Xia Yue Ting. He is not to be messed with. You quickly give her an apology so as not to be unable to graduate. At that time, I looked at her condescendingly and laughed coldly. Oh yeah, let's see who's afraid of who, shall we? This is what you said. Xia Yue Ting slapped the table and turned to leave.